and it's a straight line and everything's humming along nicely in life. And then when the neurology and the environment no longer match, we drop down. And what happens when we drop down is that people inevitably want to go back to the way things were, except that it's impossible to go back. The only way is to move forward, except to move forward, we actually have to up level. We have to learn something new in order to get up to where our environment and our neurology will match again. And so that's what all of the tools and the techniques that we teach in our trainings, it helps people up level. And it doesn't matter whether you're wanting to up level in one specific area of your life, whether that's parenting or as a leader or as a partner or financially or whatever it is. These tools impact positively all areas of our life. And we get that up level. And then we're back where neurology and environment match again. And when you have the tools, it means the next time there's that mismatch, we don't drop all the way down into the pit of despair, clawing our way back to the way things were or wanting to. Instead, we have a ladder or a hammock that we can just climb up to that up level to get where we want to go. And so it allows us to move forward much more quickly and with greater ease and grace. And the other aspect of your question reminds me of the crabs in the bucket. We're growing, we're learning, we're spiritual journey, and other people in our lives that are close to us maybe aren't. And they're seeing you change and they don't want you to leave them. And so it's out of love that they're clawing you back in, wanting to keep you close so they don't lose you. And that's where important conversations need to take place, that I'm not leaving you, you're not losing me. However, this is something I need to do for me. Can you give me the freedom to do this learning for me? And as I learn, I can share with you and teach you. And if you want to come along, you're welcome to.
The process never ends, right? We're constantly meant to grow and evolve and change. I use the analogy as, we're always updating our phones and our computers, our laptops with the newest updated, operating software. People forget that this is a big computer. It's a huge computer, and yet we're still running the programs from when we were 5 years old. And so we need to, and the only way to actually update those first, again, get rid of the viruses and the bugs, right? That's the first thing the update does, which is why we do timeline therapy first. We got to get rid of all that unresolved emotion, all that unhealed trauma, so that we can create some space. So now we can upload the new apps, right? The new neurology, so that now you can actually operate at a higher level. So as Melissa said, now, it's easy. Every time we update our software, you don't have to fall into the ditch. Now there's a really beautiful bridge that you have. That's what we always suggest with our practitioners and our clients: do a monthly timeline therapy cleanup, because we're never done. Life is going to happen. We can't control the outside world. All we can control is that we keep our mindset clear, our heart set clear, because that is another set, right? It's one of the bodies, right? It's the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, and the physical body. People don't realize that we have to tend to all four of those bodies, and it's an ongoing process, right? It's a lifestyle. It's not like, I always laugh. I joke because I call myself the brain trainer, like a personal trainer for your brain. I'm not going to teach you how to work out, and then you're going to go to the gym one time and say, okay, I'm healthy, right? You have to keep going to build that muscle. It's the same thing with that neurology. You have to keep firing that neurology until it becomes the way that now you naturally are. Because our old brain wants to keep us safe, right? The old brain that from caveman time that was like, okay, we either fight or we fight or flight or we freeze. That's the way our old brain is programmed, and we need to reprogram it, except you have to keep firing that neurology in order for it to automatically go in that manner.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a beautiful way of telling that. Rewiring, constant rewiring, ever since I took the hypnotherapy class with you, both of you, it's really amazing to unwrap it, how medically also, self-hypnosis is so helpful in rewiring the self-brain and the reality what you want to see. It's all about training your brain, and then how do you want to manifest the things outside, which completely aligns with the spiritual alignment of your spiritual higher self as well.
Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton, like Melissa had him on her podcast. He talks beautifully about that. Maybe, Melissa, we can share that. You can share that in your show notes, because it's a beautiful reminder that just because, science hasn't proven it, even though this has been proven by science, that the only way to reprogram our neurology is at that theta brain level. And that's the unconscious level. We can't reprogram our brains consciously. That's why when people go like, I'm just going to read a book or I'm going to go to this workshop, it's not enough. Because again, then we're using willpower. And willpower only lasts so long, right? There are some people that have immense willpower. And again, that's just the hard way. Why do it the hard way? Right? If there's an easier way, why not take the easy road?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with
And
that.
I
100%.
just want to come back to what we were talking about earlier with that, the programming and the inner 5-year-old running our life. And some people might be watching going, wait a minute, why is my inner 5-year-old running my life? And that's literally, Bruce Lipton talks about this as well, that literally the first 7 to 9 years of our life is download, download, download all the software. If you think of us as simply being born as hardware, and those first 7 to 9 years, we're just downloading all the software on how to live in life and, be part of our home family network, excuse me, our school network, societal network, learning literally how to smile, how to roll over, how to sit up, all of that. We're learning so much in those years, and we're entirely in our unconscious mind at that time. And the unconscious mind, as powerful as it is, has a lot of jobs to do. So it likes to be efficient. So when it finds programs that work, it will just keep running those programs over and over and over and over and over again. And then you get into your 20s or your 30s and you find, I'm feeling stuck because now that program that's worked for years is no longer working. And that's where we need to do the update. Some programs will work through our entire life. We learned how to walk when we were about 1 year old, and we walk all the way through our life. That program keeps working. We're running that program. Other programs do need an update. And as Billy said, we update our phones and devices the moment we get an alert to do so. It's just that we don't get an alert to update our own brain. And quite frankly, until I got into this work, I didn't even know it was possible. And so I know there's people out there in the audience listening to this that also don't know that it's possible. And our message is that it is possible.
Yeah.
And that's how you get unstuck.
Really, the alert is pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the alert, right? And so you ask yourself, where in my life do I have pain? So a lot of people have financial pain. They're not where they want to be financially. So a lot of people have physical pain. They're not where they want to be. Emotional pain, or, a lot of people don't really understand spiritual pain yet, right? Because they're not thinking about all that trauma. So that is literally the alert that our unconscious mind is saying to us that, hey, maybe we need to update something here. But again, like Melissa said, people don't know that. Unless someone teaches you and told you that, and there's probably people in your audience, that's the first time they are ever going to hear this. When I first heard it, I actually was like, how come nobody ever told me this before? I'm turning 50, like almost 50 years, and no one has once told me that I need to reprogram my mind. Or maybe I just wasn't listening because I didn't have that neurology to even hear it yet, right? Because sometimes the pain needs to get loud enough for people in order for them to now start listening to that.
Yeah, that's absolutely a wonderful way of expressing the things, how, everything needs to be updated from time to time. And another question related to the spiritual alignment of all the chakras, zero biopoint, field energy, or the chakra system in your body. How does this NLP is, guiding from that perspective as well, and aligning your higher self energy to pass through all of your, to the body points so that it heals completely. And in this quantum infinite world, and there are infinite possibilities, and you can come up with the reality that you want. So how to convince your higher self also that, okay, I came with this soul contract, right? I understand, but I also want to do that. There are multiple parallel versions of you, multiple parallel realities that are happening at the same time. How you're tuning the frequency to that is the thing. But how do you understand from the NLP perspective that this is what, in this lifetime I need to do, or I need to, complete my mission from the soul's perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people think when we say unconscious mind, it's up here, which is actually, the unconscious mind is everywhere, right? It's in every single cell of your body. We are all made of energy. Everything is energy, right? Like every chakra is an energy system. So for example, if someone feels powerless that they can't speak, guess what? It's affecting their throat chakra. If someone feels unlovable or unloved, guess what? It's their heart chakra. If someone feels powerless, like that root chakra, like they don't feel like they belong, they're not feeling worthy. So it's all connected. So when we heal our traumas and our unresolved emotions, it's healing it in our body, whether physically it's in our cells. And so that gets released. And all of a sudden people are like, oh my gosh, I'm able to speak now. Because guess what? You just opened up that energy center because it was blocked, right? That's when people say I'm stuck. It's because you're literally stuck in that program. So now that neurology now allows you to actually open up because you've created this space. And that when you have created your space, that's why we say we're bringing it into alignment with each other, right? So our conscious mind, our unconscious mind, and then our higher self, which only can communicate to us through our unconscious mind. That's another, misconception that we can't talk to our higher self consciously. We don't have, it doesn't have that doorway to God, as you remember hearing that the Vesica Piscis, right? That sacred geometry. So once you get your conscious and your unconscious mind in alignment, then guess what? Now you have the door open. Now your higher self can actually communicate to you. And that's when we're talking about intuition. We're talking about, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I got this insight. Those insights and those ahas, that is your higher self speaking to you and saying, hey, you should go in this direction. You should go in that direction. And that's when people start finding their path and their mission and their purpose of what they were meant to do in this lifetime. And it could be many other paths. We just say like, hey, if it feels good, if it lights up your soul, you want to get up in the morning. And this is like, like Melissa and I are like, we're so passionate about what we do now. It doesn't feel like work. Then you're doing what you're meant to do. If you're going to a job and it's like, that whole term, sucking your soul, it's because you're not doing what your soul was meant to do in this lifetime. So if that's, again, awareness, right? It has to be, you have to find that you have this pain in that area of your life. So then you can start making choices to actually shift it.
That's a beautiful answer. Yeah. Melissa, you want to add anything? I know time is running up for you guys. So
Billy answered it beautifully. So I'm going to leave it at that. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for both of you to join me today and answering these beautiful questions. Like we discussed so much than what I had planned for, but it was very important discussion. It was really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Bye.